They say podcasts are going to replace books. I don't know about that, but I do think TRS clips will assist your learning process. Let's talk about the most important part of this particular episode. Ancient aliens, sir. What's your opinion on ancient aliens? And we're not doing this from a History Channel perspective. You know, the show Ancient Aliens, which just said everything is because of aliens. We're not going down that perspective. What I will ask you though is about signs and symbols related to alien life, extraterrestrials, UFOs. This is there across world civilization. There's a reason that ancient aliens is even a concept spoken about. But I feel if anyone has to have an opinion about ancient aliens, it should be a historian like yourself. What's up?
There's something like which, many people, even on flights, like people ask me, like, what do you think about it? It's a very interesting and intriguing question at the same time. Alien. Now, when we talk about aliens, we have this, oblong, huge-headed...
green man.
It's kind of people who pop up in our mind. But an alien could be very similar to you and me. I could be an alien for that matter.
Do you think aliens could have had sex with monkeys and made human beings?
Again, a question which is a possibility. Again, there are so many variations, it is a possibility. When we talk about aliens, what are we really talking about? Is it a race of people who are really far ahead in their sciences? I mean, how different could they be from us, really? Even us, if we are alien to some other places, how different are we from them? It could be, many of these things could be defined by the planet that they come from, really. So this could be the defined. But what if aliens are, this is again, just taking it ahead from where you left it. Aliens are within us, really, even today.
Yeah.
So,
no, I mean, can you expand that thought a little bit? I think what you mean is the comets that have hit Earth from outer space have carried microbes.
Yes.
Which found their way onto the Earth. And I believe there's a theory about fungi in general.
Absolutely.
Fungus, mushrooms.
Yes.
They say came from asteroids.
Absolutely. So it doesn't have to be just walking, talking human beings. It could be those microorganisms. We have been, even water is alien.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. So it's.
I mean, you're talking about the ancient history of the Earth as a planet.
Yes.
Which got hit by a comet.
Yes. And water was created, it was never part of us.
Because there was droplets of water on that asteroid.
Yes. Before, all these, even the smallest organisms to come forth. And the come forth in the way, because of water, So how they thrived is another question. So when we talk about life itself, so all these organisms, microorganisms, so even what we look for in other planets, we have been sending so many space missions outside. Now, what we are looking for or seeking for, and we get them from there to here. Now, we have been growing, different vegetables on the soil, which we have got from moon, So what if, even on planets that we assume there was no water, what if there was water? Like the desert, which we have had, Sahara for that matter. What if it was an ocean? Because we have had instances wherein you could see shells.
In the middle of the Sahara Desert.
So it could be possible that where there was water, there's no water now. Planets. What if it was a landing base wherein these are all possibilities, wherein big, huge aliens come in and they port for some time and they see Earth, oh, this is happening, like a TV channel, and they go off.
Let's go help these monkeys here.
It's a possibility. Not even really getting them and getting them down to say, okay, these are, maybe they see themselves in us. Maybe it's a race which wants to help. Maybe it's a race which feels like these organisms, compassion,
Yeah. What do the Earth's ancient cultures actually say about this in their signs and symbols? Because there have been symbols of flying objects that are found, Vimanas for that matter. Or even when you come back closer home, we talk about Devlok and other beings. There is a lot of astrophysics hidden within just Indian scriptures. I'd like to know what, say, ancient Egypt thought of aliens, or even South American cultures thought of aliens, or African cultures. You're an Africanist. There have been these mentions of beings. Even I believe when you talk about Ra and what's the female goddess's name?
Isis.
There are some kind of alien elements attached to Ra and Isis. So I'd actually like to know your perspective while you're studying archaeology, because I'm sure this question has popped up in your head as well.
There have been symbols which are outworldly, to say the least. I would start with one of my favorite, like the spiral, which could also be the symbol that we have in our dharma, Sanatan dharma as we call it, like the Om. The three spirals are kind of each going into another, and it's one of the oldest symbols. But how can you think about something like that, which talks about the whole world as a cycle, and not just one cycle, but interconnected cycles? So how do you explain that? So it's very difficult when such symbols find place. As I said, it's not a sign; it's a symbol. Parking. If you could talk about symbols, it's something to make you think, which is something to give you direction. So for such symbols to have, like the trident, there are so many. Fire itself, like in so many different forms. Sun, if it was for a crude person, like the sun going, it would be another thing, like, but it being given so much importance, it is the center of so many things. In fact, the moon, there are so many things, in fact, and why this fascination with things outside in the sky? When you're walking and in the jungle, let's say, assuming the everyday schedule of a caveman, let's say you go out, you hunt, come back, make a score, eat, maybe, do whatever. But why this fascination with direction? Why this fascination with math? These are not, forgive me, I'm calling it higher sciences, but these are not like something which unorganized or disorganized mind would feed into. These are things when you have reached a particular finesse, as we call it. Like, beauty is not something which, is just laid on the table. It comes with time. It comes with constant, preparation, research, getting in. Then the finesse comes in. So similarly, like when we talk about all these older symbols, whether it is, the different gods that we have created, like whether it is in the Greek civilization, the Roman civilization, the Egyptian, why them? Were they really? It's as though they were real. They are real.
Why are there so many parallels?
Why are there so many parallels?
Like Zeus, Indra, Thor.
Yes. Whether it's I was just tempted, but we'll probably take that for another thing. But there are so many gods which are so many there are so many similarities in so many cultures. So how are they so similar? They are years or even geographically apart. And why the sudden splurge of certain symbols in certain places all together at the same time, around the same span of time? These are questions which intrigue again. So as I said, like fertility symbols, whether it's the mother symbols, the fertility symbols, whether it's the masculine, the patriarchal symbols, whether it's a phallus or whether it is other symbols which have found fascination with stars, fascination with the universal flow of it, fascination with thoughts, fascination with nature. These are all things which are there, like part of the different, you can't have a mind which is not ready for such things, which is like in the hum of things, observe and make such things in such detail. So this is these are like fertility symbols is something which.
What about ancient stories, sir? Like all these stories we hear about from Indian culture. Forget Indian culture for a minute. Even when you actually get into Egyptian culture, they have so many stories.
Yes.
Where they talk about these beings arriving on like ships, etc. What do you make of all that?
It could be the ancients were brilliant in a way. Like they found they never put all the eggs in one basket. So whenever they have or had a message, they put it into different media. So drawings could be one, on documentation like papyrus, or some other media like paper later, or that could be one. Before that, stones, etching on the stones. Another very powerful thing that they also used was oral songs, traditional, because every person has to do a particular event or a certain series of things before he or she becomes something. Maybe an adulthood ceremony, a birth ceremony, an initiation ceremony. Now, they all have some message from the past. Now, what is that message and what does that remind us? Or what is it supposed to guide us or to say to us is something which we'll have to figure out. So when we say whether it's the Bible or whether it's the Egyptian stories again, whether it's Bhagavatam or Gita, so they all have stories. What if they are more deep? What if they have a story within a story? What if they have important messages to deliver, unpack, as you say the word again and again, unpack and give to you on a plate, which is just not the same, everyday things that we do, What if there is a symbolism, there is a meaning to it? What if it's a warning? Don't fall over the cliff. Be mindful, yeah? It's a message from the past.
Yeah, because human beings have gone...
many have gone...
past.
There are many signs I remember, many have gone over. Please be careful. Those kind of messages, it means that you drive slow. You watch out. Priorities should be different.
Thank you for watching this clip. If you want to learn more about this topic, we've curated a playlist just for you. And here's a link to the whole episode.